But now Roger begins with a new thriller called Windows.
One of the New Year's most disappointing new films is a would-be thriller named Windows. And I say would-be thriller because Windows doesn't have any real suspense. We know who the villain is very early in the movie, and then there isn't any other surprise. It's just a matter of sitting around until the victim figures out what we already know. The movie stars Talia Shire, best known for a performance as Sylvester Stallone's wife in Rocky. In Windows, this time, she's a young woman who comes home one night and is savagely attacked by a man who tape records her cries for help. After the attack, Shire talks with her best friend, played by Elizabeth Ashley.
What does the shrink have to say?
Marin? He says, what do you think? A lot of that. I was never very comfortable with Dr. Marin anyway, and besides, it doesn't matter. From here on in, my money goes for rent.
Honey, I can lend you all the money that you need.
Oh, thanks. No. What is it? Hello? Oh, geez. Listen.
Sweetheart.
Terrific reflexes, huh? That guy was not exactly lightning swift to pull his arm out of the door. If there seems to be something else slightly phony going on in that scene, there is, and I'd probably better not give away what it is, although this is one of those thrillers that keeps insisting on giving away its own story. Anyway, a few minutes later, stuttering under the tension, Talia Shire gives the details to a police detective.
He had a knife. He kept putting it in my throat. And my mouth. I couldn't breathe, and he tore open my coat. Made me pull my bra down. He had a tape recorder, and I had to make sounds. It's awful. He scared the hell out of me. Today, real quick, and as a creep.
Look, how about if I give you a ride home?
Oh, no. That's not necessary. Can take a cab. I really like cabs.
That scene is the beginning of a relationship where they eventually fall in love, another one of those situations where the cop falls in love with the victim. It's hard to say what I dislike the most about Windows, the ugliness of its violence or the stupidity of its plot, which is a totally unbelievable combination of jealousy, voyeurism, and sadism that goes on and on and on unforgivingly. If there's anything worse, by the way, than a thriller with a completely unbelievable twist at the end, it's a thriller with no twist at all.
This was the first film I saw of the new decade.
Me too, the first
Very
film.
hopeful.
First
Walking in, you know. We got a long decade, I'm afraid. Bad films are not going to go away, and this is an awful one. It's extremely violent. It makes you feel bad to be in the theater. He sticks the knife down her throat right at the top of the film. I would have split if I didn't have to be a critic. When you are that violent and that ugly in a film, I think today audiences, people want to know, well then why are you doing that to us? And this film does not come up with anything very special. It's not about violence. It turns out, I'll give away the plot because I don't want people to go. It turns out that the person behind all of this violence is a psychopathic lesbian. Now, that's just lurid trash. There's nothing to this picture.
One of the things that surprised me, because I agree that it is trash and garbage, is that it was directed by Gordon Willis. Now, Gordon Willis is one of the great American cinematographers of the 1970s. He shot The Godfather and won an Academy Award for it. He shot Manhattan.
Annie Hall.
He shot Annie Hall, which won an Academy Award of its own. What is he doing making a movie like this? It looks good because he's a good cinematographer, but how did he get mired in this stuff?
It's a mean-spirited story. They ought to subtitle it, Rocky's Girlfriend Gets Raped. That's all there is to it.
Windows, the depressing and violent and ridiculous thriller about Talia Shire being pursued by a crazed lesbian. We can't recommend you see Windows, rated R. 2 no votes for that.